Treacle Stew is my favourite of all winter stews because it's connected to Donegal and all my dad's side of the family. So we're going to put the meat in.
I'll put a bit of flour in the meat.
Yes.
And don't you like to put the vinegar on top? Why is that?
Well, that just gives a little bit of acidity to it, which I like, you know. I always test things for so long until I get to a flavour that I like.
We both really just kind of try as we go, don't we?
We're not chefs, like we're home cooks, and that's what I love doing, so I don't like to feel any pressure at all. All these traditional ingredients are delicious.
Yeah.
I mean, when the French were perfecting their béarnaise sauce, the Irish were just eating charlock on the side of the road. People think that we had very little and we've managed without those.
One of my favourite herbs ever is rosemary. I put it on absolutely everything. Baked ricotta with honey and rosemary in the oven.
Amazing. We've used a lot of rosemary in the book actually, a lot.
Yeah. So put a little bit of butter into your
good
pot.
knob. Kady, that's very miserable. Yeah, a good knob of butter please, yeah. Yeah.
It's a big pot.
This pot belonged to my great-grandmother and it's been like in the house obviously since pre-famine. These are the measurements on the side. Gallons. That's a gallon on each the line.
Just adding some of the pickled onions. Okay, so now I've just put in the red wine, the stock. Now we've got your favourite ingredient next.
This is why the stew is called Treacle Stew. 2 big globs of it.
It's delicious and bread.
The treacle bread in the book, when I made it first, there wasn't enough treacle in it. And then I added more. I like it rich and it keeps it moist. Give a good stir of that now, Kady. I can smell it already. It's coming to the boil, Kady.
Brilliant. Smells delicious. Put in our meat as well.
Everything, yeah.
There we go.
Loads to do. People ask what kind of meat you use. If it's slow cooking, you can use chuck, steak, anything. However, if it's a quicker cook, I like to use ribeye, which is quite expensive. I just love the flavour because it's quite marbled and fatty. A little bit of fat helps.
Okay, are we ready to put it back over the fire for a bit?
Let's
put it on for a couple of hours, and the longer it's on anyway,
you know, by
the better flavour.
Exactly. We met in, it's extraordinary really, a garden party. We ended up talking about food and blackberries, I think. And then they all ganged up on us and said, you have to do the book.
I mean, I always had dreamed of writing a cookbook because I always design it for other people and brand their cookbook, so I always wanted to do my own. But if it wasn't for you giving me the nudge, like, I don't think I'd have done it on my own.
How many recipes a day did we do?
5 a day for 2 months.
It was exhausting, but it was great crack though.
It was so much
And we
fun.
had our tasters in, the fisherman from the harbour. Yeah. Pat and Ken, the ferryman, coming in. They were delighted with themselves.
The guy had the photograph and said, what do you think of that? I said, that's beautiful. Where did you catch it? He said, I caught it out the back of the rocks here.
Yeah.
And I said, wow, that's fantastic. I said, what did you do with it in the end? Oh, he said, we threw it back. I said, why did you throw it back? He said, we hadn't got a pan big enough to fry it.
All food is about stories. Just people sit around the table to listen to a story. For me, it comes from listening to all Dad's relatives and Mum's relatives talking about what they ate and the excitement. Every potato and vegetable I see my grandmother's face looking at it and thinking the simplicity of that now is just magical.
That's why I think the book is great, because not only is it like a cookbook, but there's just small little snippets of stories and interesting facts and photos. I just think it's so good to keep all these traditions alive.
Working with the Folklore department, and then when we met together then, you were able to do all the funky vegetarian recipes, and I was able then to bring the more traditional things in. So all the Folklore translated into modernity for us in the book, I think. After a big freezing day on the pier, this is exactly what we need. It's not just a book about cookery, it's about people who have inspired us. It's about people who adore eating.
I just love that there's a bit of everything in there. You know, my time in Australia, your time in Ireland. There's recipes and interviews from all these different people, and it's all about that Irish connection and bringing, like, how food brings people together.
Because it's kind of a community spirit in it.
Yeah.
It's like kinfolk. It's lunch.